A White House official claims that there's trillions of dollars sitting on the sidelines waiting to enter crypto. When is this capital going to enter the crypto market? Will it be sooner rather than later? Or is the bear market year going to just continue to play out as we've come to expect? In today's video, we'll be talking about this, going over the most recent Bitcoin price action, discussing some of my trades, and what we can expect in this upcoming week. If you enjoyed the content, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe. Without further ado, let's jump right into the video. All right, so this weekend, Bitcoin did manage to get above $70,000. We even had some pretty solid 4-hour closes, close to $71,000. But right now, as I'm recording this video, you can see that we're immediately retracing. We are now back below $69,000. Now, if you're not a trader, this doesn't really matter to you. I do think that this year we will be getting better opportunities to buy Bitcoin at lower levels. Not financial advice, of course, but if you've been watching the channel, you know how I've been trading this market. I went aggressively short at $97,000, but recently I have pivoted to going long. And honestly, this is getting quite annoying. I can't lie, because you can see that I entered my hype long. I entered right around here at around 30. Then we managed to go all the way up to 33, came back down, came back up, and price is essentially just chopping around. The logic behind my most recent long trade was simple. First and foremost, Bitcoin looks like it wants to hold support at a key level. Right now, we are hovering just above this 200-week exponential moving average. You can see that the 200-week simple moving average is actually all the way down to almost where we wicked, around $58,000. We wicked down to sub 60K, not quite there yet. That being said, you can see that the price is starting to slow down. So my expectation is still that we can get some relief. From a risk to reward perspective, I still think that nothing has changed, and that's why I'm happy to take on a little bit of risk longing in this market. This trade has gone in the negative, gone in the positive, and ultimately I am looking for a couple more longs in this market, which will be shared in my premium group. By the way, if you want to know exactly which trades I am taking before I come on my YouTube channel, whether it's the short that I took at around $97,000 or my most recent long, DM me the keyword CBM on Telegram after clicking the first link in my description down below, and I'd be more than happy to onboard you into this group. A reminder as well, I am not a financial advisor. Nothing that I discuss on the channel should be construed as financial advice. I'm just a guy on the internet sharing all of his own personal trades and his overall market analysis. Now that we got that out of the way, I think that the price is essentially slowing down, and what we are seeing, in my opinion, of course, looks like what happened when we tapped into this 80K level for Bitcoin. So when Bitcoin tapped into 80K the first time around, you can see that we did get a pretty significant bounce. We dropped, everyone was freaking out, calling for us to go to 50K, to 40K, and then we got a nice bounce from here all the way up to around $97,000, which was around a 21% bounce. Now, the real question is, can the current level that we tapped into hold as support? Because right now, you can see that Bitcoin did manage to get about a 20% bounce if we take it from the low to the most recent high. At the bare minimum, I am still going for some continuation. Now, after Bitcoin tapped into $59,000, I was quite vocal about being more locally bullish. But now it's only a question of, can we go ahead and tap into these levels? Because we did wick to around $72,000 multiple times. So this is going to be a very, very pivotal level for you to pay attention to. If Bitcoin manages to tap into this level and actually get some solid closes above this level, say on the 4-hour time frame, then this could bode over well for a mid 70K run, going all the way as high as at least the tariff capitulation lows, which is just above $74,000, and then we can start talking about a more significant relief rally, perhaps all the way up to $80,000. But my higher time frame view is exactly the same. So while in the short term, yes, I have my long open, I'm likely going to enter a couple more longs, I am still maintaining my short, and I will be shorting more if we do get a more significant pump. I find it hard to believe that that's the end of it and that's the relief that we got, and now Bitcoin is just suddenly going to go lower. We have to also remember that Bitcoin does take its time to establish its bear market low. And my base case here is that this is not the bear market low because, number one, bear market bottoms take time to form. And I'll give you an example here. If we go on the weekly chart and we go to the previous bear market, you can see that it wasn't just a big wick to the downside. We've wicked down several times, bounced. But this was ultimately a very, very good deep value zone for Bitcoin. Obviously, it's easier to say now in hindsight, but I was accumulating Bitcoin sub $30,000. So what I want to get at here is if you are a crypto investor, there will be time to accumulate near the bear market bottom. Remember, no one can time it perfectly, but hey, if you had bought Bitcoin sub $30,000 at an average price of say $22,000 to $25,000 and Bitcoin ran all the way up to around $126,000, would you really be that disappointed that you didn't manage to get in at like $16,000? No. So what I want to get at here is it's not going to be a wick. The odds are we will take some time to bottom out. And I don't think that this is the bottom, but more locally, I do think that we can get some relief before going ahead and moving lower. Now, from a trading perspective, I have to be honest, I'm a little bit bored of this price action. I'm going to start entering some new trades. Reminder, if you want to know which trades I enter before I come on the YouTube channel, you do have the first link in my description down below. You get access to my group where I share all of my own personal trades. Now, what is this White House rumor? Patrick Witt says there are trillions of dollars in institutional capital on the sidelines waiting to enter the crypto market. Now, I don't know if anyone can vouch for this, but it would be nice to get some support, at least locally here. Right now, Bitcoin is just hovering below $69,000, but we are above that 200-week exponential moving average. So let's see how the price action develops this week. What you should really keep your eyes on this week is the stock market. Remember what I said. If we start losing the bull market support band here, then I may consider going aggressively short on Bitcoin simply because we know how crypto performs when the stock market gets even the smallest of correction. But so long as we can maintain above this bull market support band, there's always a chance that the stock market just wicks higher and higher and higher, but we are slowly showing signs of topping out. This is starting to look very, very similar to what we got before the tariff capitulation, just inching higher and higher and higher and higher before rolling over. Very, very similar price action. Lose the bull market support band, crypto will get that more severe correction. What would really help support Bitcoin at this point in time is some more ETF buying. On Friday, we got a mere 15 million worth of inflows, and the previous 2 days, hundreds of millions worth of outflows. So if we can get some continued buying, then ultimately that would also coincide with the Coinbase premium continuing to not be that deep in the negative as we have seen when we got this brutal price action. Ideally, we can turn this into green, but I'm not keeping my hopes up. I want to give you guys a level-headed view of the market. So while I would like for a little bit more relief, the reality is if Bitcoin does lose this 200-week exponential moving average and we start to get some more outflows over the course of next week, it's likely going to mean that Bitcoin will be tapping into much lower levels, and naturally, long trades would be off the table. I'll keep you updated if anything changes. Look, right now I'm only up around $200 on my hype trade. It was up a few thousand, down a few thousand. I'm going to continue holding it because I'm comfortable with the risk that I'm taking, and that's also something that I'm trying to teach you on the channel. I am shorting Bitcoin, but I decided to enter a long, and you can do this when you're trading the crypto market. I risked way more capital on my Bitcoin short because I had a lot more conviction in Bitcoin dropping from the 97K area. And now I can just sit in this market relatively comfortable, even though I enter a couple of smaller trades that you're seeing today. Now, what we also need to discuss is that President Trump's Truth Social is filing for Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs with the SEC. It looks like they want their hands even more in crypto. And we also have the fact that X is to offer crypto and Bitcoin trading to its 1 billion plus users within weeks, supposedly. The product lead actually came out and confirmed smart cash tags are launching within weeks, letting users trade stocks and crypto directly from the timeline. Users will be able to tap a ticker, view live price data, charts, and execute trades on the X app directly. This is another major step for X to become an everything app. And if you remember correctly, Elon Musk has came out and said he wants it to become an everything app. So now it's going to offer essentially financial services. And just to go back to the stock market, weakness is shown across a couple of stocks, one of them being Amazon, which officially closed down for its 9th straight day, posting its longest losing streak since 2006. This was, of course, on Friday, the stock has now erased around 470 billion in market cap over the last 9 days. I think that this is probably a hint as to what's to come for the stock market. In midterm years, performance is typically not that great. And I also wanted to go over something that we've been discussing on the channel at length. You can see here that Richard Tang came out and said that the October 10th crash was macro driven and it was not Binance's fault. If you've been watching the channel, you know that we've been covering this topic video after video after video, so I thought I'd give you a new update. Let's hear what he had to say.
There are a lot of people that say that we were responsible for the 10 October crash. Again, the tax and data focus, right? So I can tell you what happened on 10 October to refresh your memory. What happened that day? US responded with 100% tariff. So the US equity market plunged 1.5 trillion in value that day. Right? In terms of US equity market alone, saw 150 billion of liquidation. Crypto market is much smaller, it was about 90 billion. And the liquidation of crypto happens across all exchanges, right? So it happens around there. But there are two isolated episodes that's unrelated to the liquidation. So one was asset deviation of USDT. The second, there's some slowness in terms of asset transfer for people that face liquidation risk. They face challenges in terms of transferring the assets, right? To make sure that they are not liquidated. And this happens way after the bulk of liquidation has happened. Right? So this cannot be causing the liquidation. The liquidation is really a market event.
So I'm not sure what you think about this. Let me know in the comment sections down below. And the last thing I wanted to discuss, this week we have FOMC minutes, so we'll have to see what Fed Chair Jerome Powell has to say. Could be very, very interesting. I may actually consider live streaming this at 11 p.m. my time. If that's something that interests you and you made it all the way to the end of the video, comment the word live stream to let me know. And that sums up today's quick video. Locally, I'm still looking for Bitcoin to move up, although I did turn bullish right at the low 60K level, and we made it up to around $70,000. So, am I asking for too much for Bitcoin to at least go to those tariff capitulation lows? Are we just going to roll over from here? Only time will tell. But my not financial advice is if you're looking for longs in this market, don't risk too much because I'm actually looking for the next swing short in this market. Currently, I am more comfortable risking more shorts in this market compared to longs. So I hope that makes sense. From a risk to reward perspective, I still think we can squeeze up a little bit higher, but I just thought I'd let you know as to what my current trading strategy is. If you enjoyed the content, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.